It's exactly 11 up to the hour 6. Welcome to it. It's Sports That Amplified with Andile. Yesterday, I had the pleasure of, I didn't realize this until I got home. I interviewed my little brother for the very first time. He had his first interview as a professional soccer player. He plays for Sekhukhune United, of course, and it was very blasé in the way that we did it, but it was actually a huge moment. Today I get to talk to his coach. Maybe I should ask him, Raymond, imagine Tuanayami. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, the president is in the building. Which one? Well, you'll find out in a second.
Tabo, we need a printer for Sarah's school homework.
I need one for my office as well.
Sarah's teacher suggested HP Smart Tank. It comes with ink that will last for long, maybe up to 3 years, and no more hassle of cartridges. Refilling will now be easy with simple ink bottles. She also said it comes with 3 years of warranty. You can even print from your smartphone using a mobile app. Such peace of mind.
Wow, let's get it today. Print, do, save more with HP Smart Tank.
Can you see what I'm seeing? The DStv Premiership action is on a real uphill. TS Galaxy is gunning for a win. But Royal AM, Yakoloza. The Rockets want a safe spot in the top half. Meanwhile, Twithi Twata believe victory will elevate them closer to the good life. This is Ibola Letu. Drama, Beke Lebeke. Catch TS Galaxy versus Royal AM on Saturday, 22 April at 2:30 p.m. Live on SABC1 and SABC radio stations. Hashtag We Love It Here. Brought to you by SABC Sport.
The Metro FM Music Awards 2023. Black is back. The nominees for Best Kwaito Gom Song are Big Nas featuring DJ Yamza, DJ Tira featuring General Smamane, Dladla Mshunqisi, Sizwe Mhlalose, Miss Mamelo, and Miss V. Kwesta and Kabza de Small, Mkholo Waizolo, Spikiri featuring Eugene Knox, 2.5, Kwesta, Reese Madlisa, and Zuma. Danala, Professor featuring Shui, and Sanal Musician, Ezangagini. Let's go! To vote, dial *120 *45787 hash. USSD rates charged at R1.50 per minute. The Metro FM Music Awards 2023. Brought to you by the Mpumalanga Provincial Government. Visit and explore Mpumalanga, the place of the rising sun. Metro FM, it's where you're at. The Metro FM Music Award tickets are now available at CompuTicket and all CompuTicket outlets. Get yours now and be there to experience South Africa's biggest awards ceremony at Mbombela Stadium on the 6th of May. Tickets start from 150 rands. The Metro FM Music Awards 2023. Brought to you by the Mpumalanga Provincial Government. Visit and explore Mpumalanga, the place of the rising sun. MMA 23. Black is back.
We stay connected.
Fabulous.
No matter where you are or where we are. Metro FM. It's where you're at.
We have to say thank you so much to the Touchdown. They do it again tomorrow between 3 and 6. Do catch Thibaut Touch and his team. Today we're going to be speaking to coach of Sekhukhune United. He comes on just after 6:30. But remember, as per usual, at 18:45, that's when you want to be a part of this show, because we start taking your calls and WhatsApps on 086 000 2160, WhatsApp on 060 Thank you so much for choosing us. It's the Mighty Metro FM at Sports That Amplified with Andile. I am Andile Ncube. But before we go there, I mean, I'm hoping that by now, every South African, as we were in 2010, is aware that we are celebrating and hosting the Netball World Cup. I don't care where you go in South Africa, there's two things you're guaranteed to see. You're guaranteed to see people kicking about a ball and people throwing about a ball. Netball is one of the biggest sports, the second registered biggest sport in South Africa. Most girls and now guys grow up wanting to play netball. Your daughters, your sisters are probably in school right now, they're playing netball. You at a friendly or non-competitive end play netball. Then why is it that we fail netball when it comes to support? We fail them when it comes to support. How many of you have already started booking trips to Cape Town in and around netball for July? How many of you have started buying and equipping yourself with everything that you need to support them? every car I saw in 2010 had one of those, the flag mirrors. Every one of you had them. Why aren't you dusting those off and putting them back on, finding out what Netball South Africa are doing in order to support them? I've got on the line right now a lady that always makes time for us whenever we do call, Cecilia Mulekwane, who is a netball president of Netball South Africa. Cecilia, as per usual, thank you so much for talking to us and welcome to the show. Oh, it's that issue again, but we'll just give her a call back and we'll be able to speak to her. Remember, it's 086-000-2160, 060-552-7303. We're going to give her a call back. Hey, Muslim broke the story on social media that, Mabena, the Sundowns player, was not able to attend camp. Now, at camp is where they select all the players. 2-week camp, Safa was hosting all the under-17 players coming from overseas even. Mabena is the big star of the team. He is the most experienced. He is the one that has showed the most promise and talent in that team. Was unable to attend. He did go with a day to go before they announced the squad. I can tell you that Krawi, the coach of the under-17 that's going to the Africa Cup of Nations, has announced his squad, and Mabena's in it. And it's a two-way thing here, because one side says that's the best player we have at that age group, he has to go. The other side says there are players that came from all over the world, all over the country, who were there trying to impress the coach, and in that 2-week period, they weren't able to impress him as much as Mabena did in that one day. Do we have Cecilia? Oh, we do. Cecilia, hi, welcome. All right, let's take a quick break and try again. She's probably in an area that does not have network. But my next guest, he's already in the building. So if we do continue to struggle like this, the coach of Sekhukhune United has arrived.
Metro FM Talk with Faith Mangome.
What is the state of our quality education in this country?
The credible research that has been done to test the health of the system shows that the system is indeed on the rise, and we are confident that what we are doing is the right thing that should be done. That's why we participate in international studies that do check on our system to tell us where we are and what needs to be done. So we believe that we are not regressing, we're going forward, and we're improving, even at matric level.
Basic Education's spokesperson, Elijah Mhlanga.
Faith Mangome. Weeknights, 7 till 9 p.m. Right here on Metro FM.
It's where you're at.
This is Sport Night Amplified with Andile. Okay.
We broke the story on sabcsport.com that Given Msimango, the captain at TX Galaxy, is off to Kaizer Chiefs. A teammate of his, Sekhukhune, he is off to Cape Town City. The chairman has confirmed that the business model of TX Galaxy is to also sell their players so that they can rebuild from the ground up.
Is he taking interviews now?
Well, it depends. Yakadi say name. If your surname is Ncube, he's not taking your call.
Apparently, if your surname is Ncube, you're also faking penalty calls. My little brother, I've got him on the line. I've got the referee here, Victor Hlongwane.
Yes.
He says that incident when you were in the box.
No, there was actually a touch.
Ncube, matter why you dive? Why you dive? A touch does not mean that it's a foul.
This is Sport Night Amplified, powered by SABC Sport. Let's go.
It is 20 after the hour 6. We've been struggling to get a hold of the president of Netball South Africa, but I'm promised now, and I'm told that we do have her on a clear line. Cecilia Mulekwane joins us now. Cecilia, always a pleasure to talk to you. Thank you so much for always making yourself available.
Thank you so much, Andile, and to all the listeners. Radio 2000.
You're going to need a very long holiday after this, because, I mean, I can imagine the up and downs that you're doing.
Oh, yes, indeed. You know, you won't believe it. I woke up in Durban. I went to SuperSport Studios, and as I'm talking to you, I have to be in Cape Town.
Has it bared any fruit? Are you seeing an improvement in how South Africans are responding to this World Cup that you're hosting?
They are responding, and I want to say thank you to all South Africans who are really, railing behind us and saying to us, women, we are there for you, and we want to support you, and we want to show you that they have our backs. Because without the South Africans and the support of everybody, we won't be able to host this World Cup the way we want to. So thank you to everybody who's playing a part in it, and those who are wearing Netball Friday t-shirts. I really appreciate you guys.
When I saw the 100-day celebration of it, as we did the 100-day countdown, we're on the other side of 100. What is the state of readiness for South Africa to host this really great tournament? This is the first tournament of this nature, really, that is getting held during these awkward times. And yours, it's got a lot of indoor elements as well. And this is during the load shedding times. What are you doing with all those challenges?
Look, we all know that we are faced with a monster that is called load shedding in the country, and we can't run away from it. And it cannot be an obstacle for us to host the World Cup. We've got generators, even if it means we have to have 5 or 6 generators that are there, that if this one switch off, the other one switch on. We will do that to make sure that the World Cup runs smooth and it doesn't interrupt any broadcasting of that World Cup. Because remember, it's not only about us South Africans who are watching that, it's also the people from overseas that their teams are coming to play and they don't know what is load shedding. So we don't have to make it an issue so as maybe they can reconsider because of load shedding. No, man, we South Africans, we've got planes. If we don't have plane A, there should be B, C, D, and E.
I'm just glad that you've put your mind to things like that and the challenges that you might be facing. And I'm glad that you've got a plan B and a plan C, because we all want to see this be a success. We've always been great hosts, and I'm pretty sure that this is going to be pretty much the same. But that support, Cecilia, it can't start at World Cup level. People should start now with, the league is starting. The Telkom Netball League is starting.
Yes, the TNL is starting on the 27th. It will be in Polokwane in a township called Sekhukhune when we start with the Power Week. That's when we are saying, watch netball. Come support the girls. And you cannot just start by supporting the girls at the World Cup. Most of the girls that will be playing the World Cup are in those teams that will be playing the TNL. So come support them, show them the support, show them the love, and come and support netball as a whole. We are the second biggest federation in the country from football, and the biggest female federation in the country. So I think we deserve to be supported, and by our own, and by all of you. The media is doing very well. We have to compliment them in what they're doing now. Netball is everywhere. You're talking about netball. Radio 2000 have never talked about netball as much as it does now. And don't stop because of the World Cup will be over. Just keep on doing it, and let's keep on promoting this sport, because it's for us women, it's for us boys who are there, who are in their cocoons. You remember our netball is played by the LGBTQI plus, and we have to associate with them and let them grow out of those cocoons and come out and say, I am this and I want to play netball. So who are we to judge them? Let's support, and let all of them support and support the girls. Support the supporters. They need that 8th player on court.
Like I said in the first conversation we had, Cecilia, that here on Sports Night Amplified with Andile on Metro FM, we will be calling you on a regular. We will be checking in with you. We will be giving you the support so that we are able to give all those ladies that have come onto this show as well the support to say we're with you during this time, and we want that trophy and we believe you can. Thank you so much for talking to us. We really do appreciate it. And once again, when it gets even closer and there's something else that's exciting like the TNL that's just started, we'll check in with you.
Thank you so much, and keep on wearing that Netball Friday.
Thank you so much, Cecilia Molokwane, the Netball President of South Africa. Timmy, you produce too many shows. Yeah? You are here, you are next door. Now we are being called about next door. The coach is here. I'm looking forward to a conversation with him. Conversation that goes beyond just football and kicking a ball. We're going to have a great chat with a man that I always enjoy. He supports Liverpool. There were 6 goals scored yesterday. We'll perhaps start there. Does he agree with my views that Arsenal will Arsenal? That Arsenal will not win the league? Yeah, it's 26 after the hour 6. Stay with us.
Don't touch that dial. It's now a different playing field. Metro FM. Hottest hit in the streets.
The Metro FM Music Award tickets are now available at CompuTicket and all CompuTicket outlets. Get yours now and be there to experience South Africa's biggest awards ceremony at Mbombela Stadium on the 6th of May. Tickets start from 150 rands. The Metro FM Music Awards 2023. Brought to you by the Mpumalanga Provincial Government. Visit and explore Mpumalanga, the place of the rising sun. MMA 23. Black is back.
This is Sport Night Amplified with Andile.
Kaizer Chiefs, they celebrated at seeing that they've drawn Orlando Pirates. Very excited, Mazul.
They've always put their best foot forward when they play Pirates. Perhaps they feel this is the performance that can finally lead them to breaking the trophy drought.
What was the PSL ruling on the derby? Can it move?
We've seen a cup final play. I think when Stuart Baxter was there and they won the MTN 8, they beat Orlando Pirates at the Moses Mabhida Stadium.
Principal.
Zolisto forgot to say, no, the MTN 8 in Durban. I was the ref. It was a cup final. Stood as a final.
Who won, Gun?
Chiefs. Ngekoli yaka mashamayiti. Angazi uthache kanjani.
Wongekanda, yeah.
Kancane nje. Ubona seniteni ngayibize emoyeni.
It wasn't an offside nyana.
Hayi no ayikho.
Off penalty nyana.
Akuna benefit, akuna. It was just ibize emoyeni.
This is Sport Night Amplified, powered by SABC Sport. Let's go.
It's exactly 27, going on 28 after the hour 6. Thank you so much to Netball President, Netball South Africa President Cecilia for talking to us. But right now, a conversation I've been meaning to have for a very long time, but we allowed the coach to settle, man, you know. He'd had a tumultuous year last year. And we said, no, man, coach, settle, do what you need to do. And then when you are settled, let's have a conversation. He's here with us now, Coach Brandon Truter of Sekhukhune United. 18 games in, he comes to see us. Coach, thank you so much for coming. Welcome.
Always a pleasure, Andile. Good evening to the listeners out there as well.
Coach, and I mentioned it just now, a tumultuous year last year for you. You know, in terms of where you had been, you're leaving. It's a coach's job, of course. You know, that's the life you guys sign up for. But it's never nice when you don't get to settle somewhere. And I say this because you look settled now.
Yeah, a coach's job, it lasts only as in South African football, as long as the results are favorable. Settling in one place, it's a tough decision, because settling, you have to think about the family, you have to think about the kids that's at school still, you have to think about the dogs also. So, yeah,
it's hard to move with dogs.
It's hard to move.
So when you do move, do you know? I mean, you are in Durban doing Amazulu, you're in Joburg. Do you move with the entire family? Because you've got kids. Yeah, with Swallows, because I was there almost 3 seasons. We moved with him, but after what happened with Swallows, we relocated back to Cape Town, and with the Amazulu move, we decided to I'll rather keep them in Cape Town. The kids are still at school, so for them to, my 12-year-old have changed schools I think 4 times in the last 12-year-old has changed schools 4 times.
4 times in the last 3 years, yeah.
Because wherever daddy, you know, he's a football rolling stone.
Exactly. So yeah, to stabilize things and to keep them focused, we decided let's hit up and in Cape Town, and you come and visit like every second week, or when there's time, then school holidays they're here with me.
Jeez. You know, many don't think about that when they think about coaches. I mean, I can imagine those being, when you've got an entire family, wife and children, etc. You're sitting in an apartment or in a house in Joburg. You know, you've done with training, and it's just you and a phone waiting for that contact from home.
Yeah, apart from watching football and being on the phone with the family, it's 10 hours at the training field.
That's the positive. You get to focus on your job.
Yeah, and then 4 hours in meetings with management and board, and the rest is about stressing and analyzing. Man management. So yeah, it's constant. It's a 24-hour job basically.
Coach, and I must mention this because we haven't spoken to you since then. The way you left Amazulu, for the fans of Amazulu, for a lot of us, left a lot of questions, but more than anything, it left us worried because of the statements that came out, to say he's got personal things that he needs to deal with. And once somebody says that, if you're leaving a job because you've got personal things you need to deal with, that's a big thing, Coach. That's that's the worst case scenario for us, is say, hey, is the family okay? That sort of thing.
Yeah, there were personal issues. My wife got sick in Durban. It was the whole water issue. The water being contaminated. She developed liver problems that side, and I took a week off, but that's about it. It sorted out. She's fine. She's healthy now, but yeah, it's this underlying issues as well that I wouldn't like to divulge because of confidentiality clause in our settlement agreement. So yeah, let's say it.
You weren't happy in Durban.
There is some truth to I had some family issues, but that within a week it was sorted out. So yeah.
So then, Chris, and I'm not going to get into it. We've got a mutual respect, you and I, and I'd hate to cross those boundaries with you. But can I then assume that, as you've just said, that wasn't the reason you then left? Because wife was fine within a week, and she got the treatment that she needed, and we're happy for that. Then you're a professional as well. That's not the reason you left.
Yeah, no, it wasn't completely it's not a complete reason. Look, from the onset, I came in the first season with 8 games left when I replaced Benny. Of course, the objective for the next season, because of the impact Benny had on the club with finishing second. Of course, it's not impossible to top, but you have to beat the likes of Sundowns, who's streets ahead of the other clubs in the PSL now. But it's an almost impossible task. But speaking to the chairman, after 8 games that are remaining, I won 6, drew 1 and lost 1. So all of a sudden, the next season we can push for the top 4. We signed some big players: Kabadinho Mahango, Rama, Quim,
George as well, I think.
George Maloleke, Rally Balia. So with the signings and the caliber of players that came in, of course the objective is now top 4.
Which is fair,
yeah.
If you don't mind me saying. I mean, top 2 finished, and now you've reinforced top 4. Did you think that was fair? Was it a fair ask?
Analyzing myself, and with the tools that's available, then I would have said, yeah, it's very much achievable. Of course, as coaches, we learn every day as well. At Swallows, I had a bunch of players that were with me for almost 2 seasons. Until the 3rd season, I think 15 players were signed. And then with Amazulu as well, this was now a lot of players that came in. It's different personalities, different cultures, different mentalities, different attitudes as well. And I think that's where we got it wrong. And me saying that is because the man management at PSL level and at professional level plays a very big part. And because of the egos, also players have egos. Players have their own lives, their own objectives, their own personal ambitions as well, and you have to look at that as well. And it became a bit, I wouldn't say tough to manage, but everybody wasn't on the same page. And if you remember correctly, before Benny got the boot, and if you look at his interviews,
what he had to say,
he was throwing some players under the bus big time, and I fell into that trap as well. I wouldn't say I lost the cloakroom, because I'm still in contact with that, with a lot of players that is there. Staff as well at Amazulu. I have some good relationships there as well. So, I would definitely say player power in South African football is definitely real.
Coach, you say that, and, you had Benny say a lot of that, and you're not saying that, but you're saying it's a real thing and it does happen. Then I look at what happened with Romain Folz as well. yes, he's a coach that wasn't achieving his targets. Right, we see that. But as far as players are concerned, I mean, then you hear of senior players questioning him. You're hearing of, him potentially also. I mean, I spoke to Mr. Zunga, and he said, no, no such thing happens. There were just disagreements between the dressing room and the coach then. But to me, that sounds like exactly that. Why is it that you have that in other teams and you don't have in others? Or is that a thing across South African football that we're just unaware of? And whose job is it to put a foot down? Is it coach? Is it management? Is it ownership?
Exactly. As a team, first and foremost, as a coach, you have to have some tactical agreements with the team. In terms of, this is the playing model, this is the game model. This is what we're doing: transition, defense, or attack. And of course, that's the principles of play, and the team have to buy into it. And once or twice, you will get players. I wouldn't say that's not coachable, but you do find them players that's not coachable and want to do their own thing. And I think as a coach, you have to get your team to think the same at one moment in the game. And there needs to be understanding of unity in what we are doing. Once half the team or 2 or 3 players thinks differently than the rest of the team, then there's chaos on the field. There will be overload in terms of workload on the pitch. There will be different understanding in how we attack or how we defend, and that's detrimental to the result, to what you want to achieve in the game. And that's exactly what happened. And once players get unhappy about not playing, they tend to look at and there's some clubs where players will have direct contact with the chairman as well, and that's dangerous for a coach. You have to have the buy-in of the whole squad, whether they're playing or not. You have to keep everybody happy, and that's a challenge. That's why I say at this level, the professional level, man management is key. But for our players in South Africa, so many development steps have been missed. In terms of the upbringing, football, in terms of their lifestyle, social, both on and off the pitch as well, in terms of discipline, in terms of leadership roles as well. The South African footballer, once he hits the scene and starts out his career, he will make every mistake possible as a footballer. And once he hits rock bottom or close to rock bottom, now we start to realize that I need to live right, I need to eat right, I need to sleep more, I need to do this, I need to listen to the coach. And unfortunately, when that mindset sits in around about the age of 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, and now he's in South Africa, he's considered over the hill or old. But now the maturity sits in, the tactical discipline sits in. He knows how to live, he knows what to eat, he knows. So the development process in South Africa and the players, it sits in late. And that's the difference at the moment in Europe, because we skip so many steps in our development of football. We think it's the training, it's the football, it's much more in-depth than just football.
Jeez, such an analytical look into it, Coach. I appreciate that, I really do. And I'm glad that you found a home that you are seemingly happy at in Sekhukhune.
Yeah, it's a good bunch of players. Seriously, the matured players, the experienced players, they've been there, they've done that. They've won things. They played for big clubs as well, and the youngsters, the potential and talent of the youngsters, that's there as well. The squad is very humble and open to learning and experience, and that's what I like at the moment. Even when we had a bit of a dip in form, I think it was 4 games without a win, we stuck together, and once that hit, the thing you must look at is, do they still believe in the playing model? And that's the thing, when that hits, the belief should still be there, and it was there, and we stuck together, and we weathered that dip in form, and I think we're back on track. But it's still a process, Andile. It's still a process. I think I can get so much more out of this team. Sorry for saying I can get. I have to acknowledge my technical
It's
team.
you as a technical.
Yeah,
You're speaking in extension as your technical
exactly.
team.
I have a very good technical team. Morgan Gold joined us last.
And I want to go into that because, you know.
Learning, but his experience as a player. And he can relate to the defenders and he can relate with the department he's working in. So that's invaluable at this moment. But I have to give credit to them.
Coach, we're going to come back and finish that off. I'm sitting here with one of my favorite guys in the DSTV Premiership. It's Coach Blackis.
Metro FM Music Awards 2023. Black is back. Share the Jägermeister, share the love, share the Amapiano. The best Amapiano artist is brought to you by Jägermeister. The nominees for best Amapiano artist are Deep London and Buhle, Hamba Wena. Gaba Canal featuring George Leslie and Russell Zuma, Hila Nhlizio Yam. Gabseta Small featuring Msaki, Kusela. Dali Wonga featuring Mello and Sleazy and MJ, Abombelo. Wani Dwamos featuring Master KG, Lo Sheen and Nkosazana Daughter, Sofa Slahlane. To vote, dial *120 *45787 hash. USSD rates charged at R1.50 per minute. The Metro FM Music Awards Best Amapiano Artist brought to you by Jägermeister. Metro FM is where you're at. Not for sales to persons under the age of 18.
There will be all signs on the court of play that basketball is not just a sport, it's a lifestyle. The National Basketball Association NBA playoffs will deliver dramatic wins for the real champions to rise. Experience the NBA playoffs every Saturday live on SABC Sport on DTT Channel 4, OpenView 124, and also available on sabcsport.co.za and SABC Plus. # Go Beyond the Court. Brought to you by SABC Sport. For the love of the game.
It's 6:43 on the mighty Metro. My promise of 6:45 to take calls is not going to come through today. I can tell you that much because the coach is still sitting with me. And we've just touched the surface. Coach, you've got Morgan Gould, who is a novice at this coaching thing. You know, he started out there in the juniors. You've brought him to be next to you. I'm assuming it's you. I'm assuming that the way you guys work at Sekhukhune is that you get the power to do things like this, to choose your own technical team. But then I wonder, you know, as much as, I mean, Morgan is one of ours here at the SABC Sports, you know, analyzes all our international matches. I wonder, why not take somebody like a Thabo Senong, somebody who's coached a national team, somebody who's coached under pressure, who's got the experience of Thabo Senong, to say, I want this man next to me?
Yeah, Coach Thabo, coached at the highest level with Bafana. Also the
Lesotho national team, yeah.
When I came in, there was already a process of restructuring at the club. Yes, he was tasked with scouting for the first team and also being in charge of the youth development setup that is at the club. Currently now with his first team duties still entails analysis of opposition analysis, and he reports directly to me as well. So he's still involved, but his involvement at this stage is minimal with the first team, and his focus is more on the development side of the club.
Kamohelo Mokojo hadn't played for a while when he came to you, but we know the quality of play he is. I see him playing 90 minutes now. How's Kamohelo?
Top. From what I've seen so far, I think he's one of the best deep line playmakers, holding midfielders, defensive midfielders, number sixes, whatever you want to call it. But he came to us not fit yet. Came to us after a very long injury layoff as well. We rushed him back against Gallants. He played 45 minutes. To be honest, because of us rushing him back, it wasn't the greatest of performance, let's put it that way, and his understanding and his relationship with the players around him also was a bit tricky for him. we then decided to restructure his rehab program, or his conditioning program, let's put it that way. Played a bit more in the friendlies as well, and as we're speaking, he's not 100% yet. But the past two performances with the 290 minutes against Maritzburg, he was outstanding. Against Chippa as well, and outstanding as well. The game prior to that, I think it was 75, 80 minutes. So he's coming along nicely. But what we must guard against Carmo is, of course, overloading now. It's the last 5 games. We have games now coming thick and fast. We also mustn't overload him, let him break down again. He's a marvelous talent. He brings so much experience to the training field, on and off the pitch as well. Talking to his teammates, guiding the youngsters, sharing experience with the technical team as well. What they do in Europe, what is the trends, what's the differences as well.
So you're the kind of coach that allows a player of that experience and that well-traveled, played internationally to share that sort of thing.
I do it with all my players, Andile. I need to know what they think. I know your brother's problems with the tire as well. I know everything. So I build relationships on and off the pitch. On the pitch, it's about I use guided discovery. What it means is that we guide the team in a certain direction. This is the way we defend a certain situation. Okay, Andile, what do you think? Are you close enough? Are you far? Are you too far? Can you take up a better position? Can you see the field? Do you think this is right? So, because with talking, you can't see the picture the player have in his mind. So we have to take it to the training field, and from there we'll have a better understanding about what the player thinks, and with him being involved in the decision making. Per se, because we guide him into a certain situation. If he's happy, I'm happy, and if we can understand and we reach an agreement, we're gonna settle on that. And so everybody, even the young players, I like to know what they think.
Kaizer Chiefs is next. Then you've got Amazulu, you've got Galaxy. There's 2 more. I think it's Pirates and Supersport in the league.
Yeah,
that's a tough 15 points to fight for.
Tough indeed, but this we want to end. Ultimately, we want to be in the same conversation as that club. So ultimately, that's the chairman's ambition with Sekhukhune. It's not short term. He doesn't see it happen this year, this season or next season. He has a 5-year plan in place, but he would like to see us being mentioned in the top 4 in the next 3 seasons. So in the next 3 seasons, I see this game as a test for us. And so far, with all the tests that has been in front of the team, we fared well. Being in the semi-final for the first time, that was a challenge. Beating Chippa for the first time, that was a challenge. A team that haven't qualified for the top 8 yet, so that's our next objective. And we have to pick up points. But the league is so bumper to bumper. Everybody around us have to play each other as well. So there's a big possibility that clubs will be dropping points during this last 5.
In all competitions, he's won 9, he's lost only 4, drawing 3. A remarkable record at Sekhukhune, because if I'm correct, your first game was December.
Yes.
Your first game was December. So those are the stats in all competition. Lastly, very little, well, not lastly, but as far as this is concerned, very little is known about the ownership of Sekhukhune, because they're not people that will have interviews I'm still hoping they'll come sit down with me. Once a coach said they don't like to own, they'll try not to ever work for individually owned teams. Instead of like conglomerates, where you've got a super sport that's owned by a conglomerate and decisions are made, rather than working for, somebody owns a team, you have to go to that one person to speak to. How is this ownership in terms of the way they deal with things? And you would know what this is like, because you've been to Amazulu, you've been to Swallows, so how are they different? How are they any better? What can you tell us about this current ownership of Sekhukhune?
Yeah, it's 2 brothers. Mr. Simon and Mr. Jonas, that's the owners of the club. Mr. Simon being the chairman, Mr. Jonas being the CEO, but we also have an executive board, a football board, let's put it that way. We have our football consultant, we have football managers, 2 football managers, we have a technical director, we have our scouts in there as well, and then we have the technical team where we sit around the table and plan a week ahead. We have discussions about our games, the selection, the substitutions, the formations that was used. So we go quite in depth.
With the board?
That board I just mentioned now.
Jeez.
Yeah. So that's why I say, my time.
So, Coach, you play a match on the weekend, then you prepare the post-match analysis, and then you go present it to the board.
Yeah,
that includes the football board and, of course, the board that's been set up.
Yeah, and then there's still the medical team with the report, my injuries, the long-term injuries, the minor injuries, the rehab programs.
But surely not after every game. This is probably, once a month?
No, after every game. There's
no,
training
Coach.
every day. It is training every day. There's programs every day.
After every game?
Yeah. There's still the conditioning team.
Do they ask questions like, why aren't you playing him? Are you playing him? Is that sort of meeting? Or is that up to the coach because you are training the players?
That questions get asked. I think everywhere in South Africa, why am I not playing Andile? What's happening? Because they want to find out and my reason. And I have to present medical data. I have to present our GPS data. I have to present the loading. So the bio.
Is this the first you're dealing with a situation like this, Coach?
No. I like it. I like it, and that's what I prefer. The same with Amazulu. Big support staff here as well. I do think that we can still add onto the staff that is here. At Swallows, it was a baby from the NFD that grew into that. But ultimately, I want to go on par with Europe. Sundowns have a support staff of 24 people that works in a technical manner. And I would like to do the same. That's why coaching just does not entail the training ground issue. There's the planning of training. There's the loading of training. There's the GPS data. There's the heart rate that we need to monitor. There's so much detail that goes into planning for the week. So, yeah.
You just mentioned Sundowns and it ticked my brain. Why do you think they're so much far ahead? I mean, I heard you saying they're so much far ahead. Why do you think they're so much far ahead? Because it can't be as basic as money.
Continuity, consistency, qualified people. The technical team, the 3 coaches, that is the intelligent in the game, can coach as well. Coaching plays a big part. The man management of Steve, Rulani, being an analytic, Angoba, an absolute gentleman, can manage things. You have Wendell, you have the conditioning department, the scouts. The scouts all over Africa.
They truly do have the best scouting system,
yes,
probably in Africa, if not in South Africa.
Exactly. So and the logistics, the team manager, it's everything favors the player. You understand? So much info gets pumped into one player in terms of self-analysis, individual analysis, opposition analysis as well. Currently at Sekhukhune we have 1 analyst. He's absolutely superb for one guy to
do all that.
It takes a lot. The boy don't sleep. Tanasi, he don't sleep. I phone him at 2 o'clock in the morning. He's awake, busy. So yeah.
Do you think you're underrated as a coach? Do you think you get your dues as a coach?
I don't like speaking about myself, Andile. Please. I'm God fearing. Whatever God has planned for me, I sit back and see what He has planned. I will walk that path wherever He sends me. If He wants to keep me here, it's totally by the grace of God that I'm here.
You know, the one thing God disagrees with you on is the team you support, Liverpool. But I'm not going to press you too much on that. Over the weekend, I had Skesha come on, Musi, my younger brother, because I had Victor Hlongwane, the referee here. And we're talking about that penalty call in the game over the weekend against Chippa. What do you think? You spoke to the player. What do you think? Well, you've seen it now. What do you think?
I spoke to him after the game, and my words were to him was, "My man, you let me get booked." Because I was
because you're a River.
Yeah.
So now that you've seen it, penalty or not?
No, I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it. Our analysis is tomorrow. We had a big open day today for the media. I watched the game, but not zoomed into.
Yeah, you haven't looked into it.
You understand? So yeah, but the conversation between me and him, I would like to keep. I'm just saying what I told him after the game. You let me get booked, my brother.
The fact that he didn't get booked was, it was something else, according to the referee. Listen now, Coach, I often say this to you, and I'm going to say it to you again. There's a special quality about somebody who shares openly about their feelings, their thoughts, their future, their players. Sekhukhune are lucky to have you. We appreciate you every time you come on. Where you pinning your strides? You've got two things now that you're playing for still. Top 8 is what you're playing for.
Yes.
You don't mind way in the top 8, right?
There's a target, specifically where we are now 6. We'd like to maintain that, purely because of the draw, and also
True.
The chairman's ambitions as well. Sekhukhune at this moment is not sponsored by anyone. There is some sponsors talking
So
to
the
him.
further up, the more
further
money.
up the bid, yes.
And then you've got the Nedbank. You're playing a very tough team.
Yeah, but I would prefer playing Stellenbosch. Not because of any other reason. I think it's a bit easier to analyze. You can see the strengths is outlines for everybody to see.
They're quick.
Yeah, if you can manage that, if you can manage the
Mandieta,
spaces.
Titus.
Yeah.
And the goal-scoring machine at the moment.
Ikram as well, yeah. So, but if you can manage space properly, and there's no space for speed to work, then speed can't work. So I'm not saying we're gonna lie at D block. It's either we're gonna press high or things like that. But we still have 3 games before that game. But looking into the game as well, I think Sundowns were very open for that speed to work, and this is exactly where you saw the speed work. So yeah, you have to be careful around him. We managed to beat them away from home. But saying that as well, being brutally honest, we were very lucky to come away with that 3 points. So yeah, I think it's going to be a God's game going into that game. But for us now, it's just focusing on the next game, which is Chiefs. The excitement and the happiness about qualifying needs to go to the back now, and we need to focus on Chiefs for the weekend.
All the best.
Well,
all the best, not only for Chiefs this weekend, but with everything that you've got to do as Sekhukhune. And now the contract, I think, ends in 2025, so you've got a good bay there. I wish you, and here's how, isn't it? What is 2024? When is it? Am I right?
Don't want to discuss contractual issues on air.
But I wish you the full length of your contract.
Let's see. Yeah.
I mean, that's as big a compliment as it comes in this industry. I wish you the full length of your contract and then some.
Thank you. Thank you so much, my brother.
Thank you so much. I really do appreciate him. A kind soul, many say whenever they speak to him. Manshata. Never went about Shatwai. I love my kitchen. Yeah?
Wasn't good kitchen.
No, man.
I'm into sweet people. I'm not into violence. I'm a sweetie pie.
No.
Oh, is that what
This is where,
this is where we're.
This is where
he's handsome too. Very handsome.
Well, I don't know about that.
He's very handsome. Don't listen to Andile. He's very jealous.
Hey, what a day it's been. Obviously, it's the morning after the day before. As I see the best news have subsided a little bit for today. Perhaps awaiting, the next trial date. So is it the news cycle moves somewhere else?
It is. The news cycle of definitely moves, but there's still reflections I think that we need to be able to have regarding Thabo Bester, because there have to be some concrete learnings from this. If there's anything, is that it brought into question, number one, the state of our borders, which by the way is going to be covered by the Minister of Home Affairs this evening on the show. Dr. Aaron Motsoaledi is in conversation with us
after having
this evening.
listened to Dr. Motsoaledi a couple of days ago. I can't wait.
Yeah, so and we have to talk and not, you see, it's interesting to go into the how did he get to South Africa. That's not important as much as it is important, but I think what becomes important as well is how many people are undocumented in this country that are South Africans but are able to commit crimes because they do not have IDs. If anything, the Thabo Best has demonstrated is some gaps that we still have from the Department of Home Affairs to borders. Border Management Authority was put into position and into power in 2022 by the Department of Home Affairs for the mere fact of trying to get better control of our borders. They managed to get to Tanzania going into Kenya. That's the only time they were stopped. So who's managing and running our borders and to what extent? Because it looks as though our officials can still be bought. We're going to be in conversation with, of course, with our minister regarding some of those issues because they're learnings. Also a big conversation to have is the state of our correctional services facilities, right? How many people have escaped without being accounted for? We're not even talking about G4S right now. We're just talking about the judicial system as well as correctional services facilities, because clearly from the prison warder to the people that are running these prisons, everybody has got a price tag. We're in conversation as well with the head of the Judicial Inspectorate of Correctional Services. That is Justice Edwin Cameron. Justice Edwin Cameron was the same guy.
In my books.
In my books. This guy is the reason why we know about Thabo Bester today is because Justice Edwin Cameron said, went first of all, alerted the Department of Correctional Services.
At a ministerial
and when they did not listen to him, you know what he did? He ran to the media. He's a whistleblower, technically, if you look at it. So we're in conversation with him as well this evening, just to speak about the accounts, but more than anything else, the state of our correctional services facilities, because he's doing his job by actually reporting, but our officials doing their job by doing something about what he's reporting on. And we're not getting any answers for that.
And mind you, it wasn't a let me blow the whistle. It was, I'm going to entrust the people whose job it is to dig up things and look up things. So guys, please assist me in this and look up things.
100%.
I wonder, who plays Judge Cameron in the movie when it comes out?
Hey, sidestepping. We also, by the way, are going to Zimbabwe this evening because it is the 43rd anniversary of Zimbabwe's independence. We're in conversation with the opposition leader, Nelson Chamisa.
Let's use that word very loosely.
Yes, of course. And that's exactly why we need to be in conversation with the Citizens Coalition for Change leader, Nelson Chamisa. You know that this is not the first time that he's contesting to be president, but we need to tackle a lot when it comes to Zimbabwe, when it comes to ZANU-PF, when it comes to the state of Zimbabwe, and more importantly, is it time for, we all know it's time for change, but how does change come about if the people that keep winning at the ballot paper is ZANU-PF? And that, I hope that the leader of the opposition is going to answer for us this evening. And then later on, we're in conversation with the youth movement of political parties in our country. What does the future of politics look like from a young person's perspective? Are they just the mouthpiece for the umbrella bodies, or do they actually have a plan for this country?
Did ZANU running?
Maybe as an independent. You can't run under the ANC.
I think...
he would run as an independent, but we had a conversation about independence yesterday, and it sounds as though it's going to be expensive to run as an independent. Not to say that he's lacking in the finances, but I don't know if he wants to run as an independent. It would be interesting if he does. But yeah, when it comes to young people, we're talking about youth consciousness here. Will you vote for these young people, and are they just mouthpieces for their umbrella bodies? Lots to cover this evening.
There is a lot, and if anybody's going to cover it, trust me, it's Faith Mangope, the most hard-hitting journalistic show anyway on radio. You can quote me on that. It's 7:04. Faith Mangope comes in with the Metro FM talk for the next 2 hours. I look forward to that conversation with Judge Cameron, and of course, I look forward to the minister as well, Aran Mutsueledi. He reminds me of Brakkies a lot because I like somebody who answers honestly, and when they don't know, says, I don't know. I heard him say, I don't know a lot of times. I'll go find out for you, but I don't know. Let's see how much he's found out since the press conference from myself and my humble guest, whom I wish so well. And I see so many of you who've sent messages here wishing him well as well. Thank you so much for being a part of the show. For myself, Timothy Maranda, of course, Malcolm Glover, and Thabo Nkwana. Pela Ngantsomi.